Hi, my name is April Hennig and I'm here today with sacreddrop.com. I am here actually to do a Pisco tasting. Now, I know it's been a while since I've been on video for a while and I'm not quite dressed up today, but I just wanted to go ahead and give you a little bit step-by-step how to do a Pisco tasting. Now we have two different types of Piscos, and as I mentioned earlier in my blog, Pisco is actually a distilled type of wine, and generally it comes from some grapes from the region of Peru, Bolivia, or Chile. Depending on where you ask, they may tell you one or the other. But I am half Peruvian, and therefore we are going to taste Peruvian Pisco. Now the two types that we're going to try are going to be one that's from Viñas de Oro, and this is actually a Quebranta, and this is a pure one. It's 100% Quebranta, and it's from the cosecha 2009, so 2009. Now, you see here. Okay, so now this is the one that is generally used to make Pisco sours. This is what they call the pure type, and as this one is made from Quebranta, which is the one that's typically, the grape that is typically used for this, it's really used more for blending than anything else, and so it doesn't have a very aromatic nose to it or aroma to it. Now there probably is a very good type of glass to use for this, but in this case, most people have regular wine glasses, and so this is what I'm going to use. Though I also have a tiny little cognac glass, which might be interesting as well, just to capture some more of the aromas. I'm going to try two different types, and for the aromatic type, I'm going to use a smaller one. But for this one, I'm going to use this type, and we're going to try a little bit of this. Now, the interesting thing about tasting Pisco is that you actually, at first, do not drink it. What you do is you just kind of put it back in the bottle. You make sure that you swirl it around the cup quite well, empty it back in until it's almost completely empty. And then what you want to do, and a lot of my friends looked at me very oddly the first time I did this, is you want to aerate it. So because of the high alcohol content, which is about 43%, and in this case, let's see, in this case this one is, it says it on the bottle, I'm sure, 41% alcohol content, so that's quite high. And if you actually smell it directly, you're going to actually lose a lot of the hairs in your nose. Actually, you won't be able to smell it very well. So this one's got a little bit of, like, I want to say nuts, and it's got a very distinct Quebranta smell that once you've smelled a lot of Piscos, you will recognize it. I almost want to say it's got a touch of lemon, though none of the lemons have been added to it. And the reason why a lot of wines smell like fruits is because of esters. It's a chemical compound that is created when wine is actually fermented. So what happens is the wine is actually created, and then it's fermented, and then what they do is they distill it, in this case. I get a little bit of pepper too, but like a white pepper. Nuts, and then you get a little bit of alcohol. So this is a way of smelling the Pisco to really get an idea of what kind of aromas are in this one. Now to try it, and mind you, I might be completely wrong in doing this, but this is the way they taught me at the winery that I went to in Ica, in southern part of Peru. Okay. Now you don't want to really smell it. So what you want to do is just try it. And inhale. It's actually a lot more pleasant that way. Because if you try to put it in your mouth and you swirl it around and you swallow it and you try to inhale it, it's going to burn everything. You're not going to be able to taste anything afterwards. So what you do is you actually swallow it, and then you breathe in, and what you do is you're actually bringing up some of the smell from the bottom. So that is the way that I was taught to try Pisco. Now we're going to try another one, which is called Mosto Verde. And now this one is actually distilled before it's fermented. And in this case, it's fermented must. It's partially fermented must that is then distilled and then goes through the rest of the fermentation process. Which sounds a little bit bizarre, because generally you need some sugars, and what I'm assuming is that the sugars are still left in it at some way. Okay. Now this is supposed to be slightly more aromatic. Not as aromatic as the aromatic type of Pisco that there is, which are made with a lot of Italian type grapes or Muscat type grapes, which have a really pleasant smell to them. So, alright. Alright, empty almost all of it, and then aerate it. Try not to follow with your eyes, you might get a little dizzy. Okay. This one's also made with Quebranta grapes. Now this one itself is 40%. Okay? A little bit of lemon. I'm waiting for the alcohol to come off of it because it's quite strong. Almost more than that, the previous one for some reason. Now this is one that's called Generaciones, and this is supposed to be one of the better ones that are available within Peru. I believe I bought it for about $30 to $40 worth. It could be cheaper depending on which one you get. And the other one I was able to buy for about $16. So this one's got a nice, I almost want to say green smell to it. A little bit of herbs and a touch of nuts. Okay, so we're going to try just a tiny bit of this. I don't really want to drink too much of this because it'll go straight to your head. Whew. These are very strong liquors. And that one's much more pleasant. I get definitely that greenness coming out. It's like almost like a blade of grass, and then it's got a little like tanginess to it, and just a tiny touch of nut. So there you have it. Now you know how to properly try Pisco. I hope you will continue to check out my website at www.sacreddrop.com and continue to join me on my wine adventures. Again, this is April, and I am here to bring you the culture behind the wine. Thanks for joining us today. Bye.